All right, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. Sorry about that. I was having a war with the camera batteries, checking the batteries for my cameras for my gig tomorrow. And also I was going over my answers again because this one was really tough. And YouTube, stop giving me an alert on my own when my own stream starts. Anyways, guys, what's going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I'm coming at you for this is my only one for my weekly top 10 special. Again, I'm starting to get to this. You should try to do this Thursday. I started to do yesterday because I went to visit a couple friends of mine. One that was off from work, so we got together and chilled yesterday. So that's why I didn't do my stream yesterday. But as you see, I'm pretty up to date on my SummerSlam reviews. I've already watched part of SummerSlam 2016 today. I will probably get that one up after this because I'm almost done with it. But I will. I'm just doing up to 2016 for my SummerSlam reviews, not doing last year's SummerSlam because one, it sucked, but mainly because I've already done a live review of that on this channel, so I'm not going to do it again. So I'm going to finish up the SummerSlam reviews tonight also this. But anyway, so we're going to get into my next WWE Top 10 special. As you can see, it's on Top 10 Unexpected Terms. Wow. Terms. I can't talk today. Anyways, but once again, shout out to my friend Lauren Hutton. This was her suggestion she sent to me. So I thought I'd take this one up a challenge because I've done top 10 face turns and top 10 superstars who should turn face and top 10 superstars who should turn heel for the rest of the year. And I've already done a top 10 heel and face turn thing video also. So I thought I'd take up this challenge also is do my top 10 unexpected, like which turns were like unexpected. It's like some that were really good. We kind of saw them coming. And what was tough about coming up with this list though, is that I didn't want them to be all heel turns. Because looking at like heel and face turns, when you think about it, you think, face turns feel like they're more built up towards. Like, you're more so expecting it. You see those doubts, like the cracks in between them, and then you see that eventually, just like, you know what, that's it, I'm done with you, and they go off to being, on the good side. For like villains, I feel like they're more unexpected. So I tried to come up with a list with a mix of both heel and faces in my top 10s, but unfortunately, I have 8 heel turns and 2 face turns. There are more recent ones also. So we'll see how this goes. Let's check the live chat, though. Before we get started here, we got the code up. What's up? There are false rumors that Ray signed with WWE. Also, Mike Kanellis is set to receive a push, and no one is excited to lose titles. And Carmella, no one's expected to lose titles. And Carmella's expected to be champion for a long time. Wonder why. It runs. It is what it is, but I wonder why they would keep her champion for a long time. He hated the finish to Gargano and EC3 because Gargano beat EC3 with the move that Orton does that is not very effective. True, but still is the same move that Ciampa used to beat Gargano, even though it was in the floor, and and whoever wins between Lashley and Reigns will challenge Brock at SummerSlam. That's what it probably will be the case there, but it's kind of dumb. Like, why did you even say you're going to do a multi-man match in the first place, and then that, Also, that is set to main event the pay-per-view. I think it'll be a great pay-per-view, and Sasha's turning, not Bayley. Also, I saw that Bobby Roode is transitioning to a heel also. If Bobby and Roman main event, just give me a good match. I know these two can put on a really good match. I'd be cool with it. It just sucks to see AJ Styles, the WWE Championship, not get, a main event match at all since Fastlane, of course. That was probably the last time he the WWE Championship got the main event. I still think Sasha should be the one to turn instead. But I'm not against Bayley turning. Again, I'm willing to give it a chance, but I really feel that Sasha needs it more than Bayley at this point, in my opinion. And then Bobby Roode is transitioning to a heel also, which should be the case because Bobby Roode is much better as a heel. They just haven't had TV time to pull the trigger, pretty much. Yeah. Your thoughts on Balor versus Corbin? I just don't see it as a pay-per-view match. I think it could be a good match, but I don't view it as a pay-per-view match, honestly. It should be just a match that happens on Raw or something. I don't know why they have to add that. Jeff Hardy teased a match between him and the Demon King when he wished everyone a happy 4th. The Semi was behind him with a pick of the Demon. I didn't think he'd be teasing a match between them, but if so, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that match. The only unexpected turns he can think of is Rollins and Zayn because Ciampa everyone knew about. We'll talk about Um, maybe one or two of those may have been on my list. We'll see what happens. The only way I'm for Roman versus Brock again is if Roman beats Brock by Paul Heyman turning on Brock at SummerSlam. Would you be for that, Mike? And would you turn Roman heel? Again, that's the ideal. That's a golden way to do it. But of course, WWE won't do that because either it's too good or it was not their ideas. So everything has to be about them, pretty much. So again, they do it cool, but they got. I don't want to believe it until I see it. Are you happy Jinder isn't on TV right now? Thank goodness. Or just turning heel on a rumor as Rey Mysterio will return at SummerSlam. What if he answered Brock's open challenge and beat him? That would be unreal if Rey beat him. I don't think he would be challenging Brock Lesnar. Growing up, he was a big fan of Cena. And as I got older, he liked it less and less. But I'd rather sit through Cena's time over than and sit through the Roman era, # Roman Empire. I mean, it seemed like to Cena was just just getting opportunity after opportunity. But with Roman, it seemed like that again because it all pretty much started for Roman at the 2015 Royal Rumble. As I probably said in one of my SummerSlam reviews the other day, it just more so seemed like that Roman Reigns just stands for the company saying screw you all pretty much. That's why I think one reason why people have a bad taste in his mouth for him is because of that, in my honest opinion. Yes, he's not like that great. I'll give it that. I mean, he's good, but again, they haven't given the opportunity too often for him to be like as good as he can be. Cody may be coming back along with the Young Bucks and Omega. I mean, they could try if they want to, but I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they didn't want to come because they knew they were going to get booked badly. But if they do, cool. Got Robbie in here. Hey, Mike, I heard Barney was legit Boston, so he can say, Sammy, good to see you again, buddy. I saw that on Instagram. I had to share with you, man. Balor versus Corbin will be on the kickoff show. Probably. Isn't the Demon King undefeated? Yeah, I believe he is, but they haven't used the Demon face paint well. I hope they didn't take it away. The best way to celebrate Ronda Rousey UFC Hall of Fame induction is by having some fruity, tangy, fruity, tangy, ice cold, Rowdy Rowdy Ronda Raspberry ice cream bars. I'll take some. Omega and the Young Bucks and Cody will skip NXT. Why didn't Kanellis go through NXT? Then he wouldn't have been rumored. That's true. They probably could put Kanellis on NXT. I'm not sure what they're going to do with him when he comes back. But I don't know much about Mike Kanellis, but don't Jinder Mahal him. I just asked that. Don't pull off a Jinder Mahal and make him like the main event champion. You watch. Mike Kanellis will be the one to dethrone Brock Lesnar. That's a stupid prediction, but probably would be the case. But yeah. So that's the live chat so far. Let's get into the actual stream though. I'll check the live chat back in a little bit. So these are my top 10 unexpected face and heel returns. Again, this is a really tough list to come up with because, again, as I said at the beginning of the video, face turns don't feel like they're as unexpected because I feel like you're built towards them and you want to see this person eventually turn on them. Heel turns feel like that element of surprise. But there was 2 face turns that I thought of that happened. The earliest turn I mentioned in this list was in 2009. Then the latest one was this year, pretty much. So let's get to the list and let's see what you guys think. So my number 10 comes from NXT, and it's a face turn. And I did this because the stable itself was turning, but you never knew what they were going to do with all ends of the spectrum here, pretty much, if you know what I mean. And I feel like, this person's face turn was well done in a way that was kind of surprised because of the current feud this person was just in. Well, she was involved in in the women's title feud with Asuka, but she was mainly involved with the person she wrestled against with Asuka in a triple threat match at TakeOver Chicago. And the way they pretty much turned her face, I think they did it in a unique and mysterious way because when she came out to help this person, it came down. And I'm talking about Nikki Cross. If you think about it, Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott were feuding with each other the moment Ruby Riott stepped into NXT, and they never really had falls count anywhere or that big stipulation match that they should have had, or even like a hardcore match, like something big was building up between these 2 characters pretty much. And then Ruby was facing Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in a couple different matches, and then she was forced to have a match with both of them with a tag team partner, but she didn't want that to be the case. And she came out there, she didn't have a partner, so technically, that spot was still open. It's not like what it was with the that 6-1 tag match where Alexa Bliss just checked out and Bayley randomly inserted herself to the match. You know, she was not legally in the match. Again, it makes sense. This made sense because there needed to be one other person there anyway, and not someone filling in for someone else without, you know, any permission or whatnot. So during one of the match, it's happened 2 or 3 times, I believe. But during the first match, Nikki came wandering out, and you're thinking, you know, her and Ruby have not gotten along. So why would, you know, she help out Nikki Cross? And she did. She got into her corner and tagged herself in, took out Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and it gave Nikki some momentum, I thought, because whenever Nikki was in the Fatal 4-Way for the vacated NXT Women's Championship for TakeOver War Games, like, it was a very unpredictable match. I honestly thought that Nikki was, like, you know, was going to win it, because I felt, you know, Ember Moon, I mean, she could, but I felt like it would be a little bit too obvious, since she, you know, should have won the NXT Women's Championship. So why would they just give it to her if she didn't just have her beat Asuka, even though, you know, having Asuka, you know, beat everybody was probably the best way to go for her. You know, Peyton Royce was kind of like, you know, the dark horse, like, you know, she was there, but she didn't really need the championship. And Kairi Sane could have won it also, but then they wanted to rush her into the main event scene of the women's division. You know, she won the Mae Young Classic. So I think, you know, again, it was, you know, Sandy was somewhat transitioned to a babyface role after the Undisputed Era debut anyway. But, you know, even Nikki Cross is kind of on her own for her own thing as well. I feel like they did a really good job with just, you know, doing that turn, because she did it against someone that she just got done feuding with, pretty much. And it wasn't like, you know, something we completely expected, because especially, you know, with you know, the bloodbath between her and Ruby. So that's why, I mean, it's a weak pick, but I thought I put it on at number 10 on my list. Nikki Cross turning face to help Ruby Riott, I feel, is one of my unexpected turns of all time. So that's why that's my number 10. Let's see here. And no, Mike, you cannot put a picture of yourself with Neapolitan ice cream bars. I don't have any more, Robbie, so I can't help you there. Canellis came around, so yeah, give him a chance. Those aren't WWE ice cream bars. He was undefeated in Impact for like a year. Also, Impact only gets like 2,000 views on YouTube. Yikes. Yep, Nikki Cross. Also, Ruby Riott is out for like 4 weeks, but we will get a Riott Squad match on Monday, as we do every single week. And yes, also, that was Ruby Riott with 1 T and not 2. And everyone is saying and Kairi Sane will dethrone Baszler in Brooklyn. I mean, she could. I'd be all right with that, but I still think it should be Dakota Kai at Survivor Series weekends. I really think that, you know, that storyline between Shayna and Dakota is like, you know, the perfect, you know, underdog story, overcoming, you know, the villain and whatnot, as expected. I still wanted it to be Dakota Kai personally. I mean, if Kairi does it, okay, but I would much rather it be Dakota Kai. Anything else in the live chat? Nope. Moving on to number 9 on my list. Number 9 was from this year. It just happened a couple months ago. It's somewhat of a turn, but it's more of a return. And I put this one on this list because, you know, this person's been getting a lot of momentum ever since, and the stable with him and this other wrestler is working. I would not expect these two to pair up, and that's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre came back to NXT last year after being gone since 2011 or 2012, maybe 2013. I can't remember off the top of my head when he was released, but he went to a TNA, made a name for himself there as Drew Galloway. He came back to NXT. You know, I wasn't, you know, I liked his run at NXT, but I didn't think it was nothing that really set the world on fire that big for me. But I was definitely looking forward to seeing him, you know, get a better run this time on the main roster. Because I did see he was definitely an overlooked talent that the WWE could have done a lot more with him than they did. And then when Dolph Ziggler came over to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, he mentioned that he didn't come alone. And it's like, well, who on earth could he have come with? And sure enough, it was Drew McIntyre. Him and Ziggler then attacked Titus Worldwide. Again, that was the birth of the Claymore Zigzag coming. I love that finisher a lot. I mean, it's gotten Dolph to the Intercontinental Championship scene, and I feel like, you know, it's eventually going to help Drew McIntyre get somewhere as well. So it's actually, you know, made Dolph Ziggler feel very relevant on Raw, as he was, you know, just starting to really go down the tubes like his last few months on SmackDown. And I thought maybe him moving over to Raw was just going to, you know, like send them packing pretty much. But I think him and McIntyre are working very well together. I mean, I'm pretty sure sometime down the road, McIntyre will turn on Ziggler, or the other could happen. Who knows? But I see this as like, really getting McIntyre some great momentum moving forward. I'm not sure what role he will play in your Continental Championship 30-man Iron Man match at Extreme Rules, which I think will be freaking awesome. But yeah, I mean, this wasn't really. I mean, he could have came back as a heel. I felt it wasn't completely going to completely roll it out of him coming back as a heel or not. But I think that the fact that they paired him up with Dolph Ziggler was what made me put him on this list, is that being unexpected as well. So that's why that's my number 9 is Drew McIntyre returning to Raw in 2018 as a heel to pair up with Dolph Ziggler. WWE just signed a new female. She's kind of like Kairi Sane, but different. She's better. Yeah, I heard about that. The finish to Gargano EC3 was brilliant. Storytelling was on point. I feel EC3 was established as a sympathetic babyface based on the beating he took from Gargano at the end. And that may be the case. Like you said, Dakota says EC3 seems to be more of like a cocky baby face. So maybe that is the role they're going to go with for him. I mean, I haven't been 100% certain either. And I thought he was a little bit more of a heel, especially when he had the match with Cassius Ohno. But I can definitely see him being more of like a sympathetic and cocky baby face. It's like even he was saying, in the ring, like, telling Johnny to settle down pretty much. So, like, I don't know, maybe he'll feud with Velvet. I mean, I mentioned the other night, maybe him and Velveteen Dream will do something, since, one of them could turn babyface, I feel, either Dream or EC3, based off of, Velveteen Dream walking out on him during their tag match in not Brooklyn, in London. I mean, it could happen. I mean, it doesn't have to happen on, on a takeover. It could happen, on just a regular NXT match. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely think there's some possibility that Ziggler McIntyre have the best tag team finisher in the business. The Shatter Machine, the second best. I definitely agree. Dolphin Tired. I actually like that's a good combination. Do you think that loss will hurt EC3's momentum? Nah, I don't think. I think EC3 should be fine. I think I mean, it was a different opponent for Johnny Gargano, and to give him for that storytelling of how he's kind of like not heel, but he's like it's taking the feud with him and Ciampa to the next level. Since they're having the title match on NXT, I think they're probably going to have one more their third and final match at Takeover Brooklyn Forge. Either going to be Hell in a Cell or I Quit, based off of suggestions and what I think of also. He hates the last chapter. It's like a Russian leg sweep and a clothesline. It's not too bad for the most part, but I can definitely see why you wouldn't like it. So we got that. Thank you guys. Number 8 was from 2016. Randy Orton turning heel on Kane to join the Wyatt family. Again, SmackDown Live was, in 2016, again, was on a roll after the brand split happened. Again, the brand split, when it first happened, again, I'm in the middle of watching SummerSlam in 2016 now, showed a few cracks, showed that, Raw had more star power, SmackDown had some stars that could be good. We had to give them the opportunities. And that's exactly what happened for SmackDown from 2016 till the Superstar Shakeup at WrestleMania 33. But they had this feud with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, was okay. Of course, it finished on a flat note also, but the middle part with Orton joining the Wyatt family was awesome, I thought. I did not expect that to happen at all. I thought maybe there would be some type of match, or, like later on down the line, since, Harper had returned and cost Orton the match at No Mercy. But never did I imagine Randy Orton joining the Wyatt family. I give WWE props for actually, trying something different. Unfortunately, since they did back themselves into a corner though with this, I mean, they should have. I still think they should have had Bray Wyatt win the Rumble. I guess instead of flip it around, Bray Wyatt wins the Rumble, and have Orton win the title at Elimination Chamber or something like that, and then have Orton be the heel and Wyatt be the face. It should have been. Although I did read rumors that, here's what I heard: the John Cena Nikki Bella thing was what kind of shook things up a little bit. Apparently, the original plan was that Orton apparently was all along supposed to win the Royal Rumble, but then he would win it by turning on Bray Wyatt then, and then him and Bray Wyatt would face off at at Elimination Chamber. He beat him, and originally Styles was going to face Taker at Royal Rumble apparently, and he was going to lose to Taker. And then in the Elimination Chamber, John Cena was going to be the one to limit the Undertaker, set up their match, and then Styles would win the title back, and it would be Styles and Orton at WrestleMania 33. That's what the original plan was supposed to be. But I still felt, for the time being, Randy Orton did help elevate Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family to bring some fuel to them as well. But unfortunately, once he burned the house down, everything else just burned down with it as well. But I did not expect Randy Orton to turn heel and join the Wyatt family. That was definitely a shocker. I thought that's why my number 8 is Randy Orton turning on the Wyatt family. Turning on Kane in a no disqualification match against Bray Wyatt in 2016. Let's see here. With how big they are, they should have a more devastating finisher. True. The thing you're talking about with Dar, that is a running Enzuigiri. It looks like a leaping knee, but it's a kick. My bad. Orton definitely, yeah. Orton's more in his element as a heel, but I have a feeling that WWE is just going to be booking him as like a tweener pretty much for the rest of his career. I feel at this point, but if they turn him heel, awesome. WWE should turn Owens face. If it doesn't work, you can change it back. Give it a try. I'm not against it fully. So, why not give Owens a try as a babyface? We'll see where it goes. But number 8 is Randy Orton turns on Kane in 2016. Number 7 is when Matt Hardy turned on Jeff Hardy in 2009. Of course, again, I wasn't watching at the time. So this one kind of is hard for me to judge a little bit. I wanted to include a couple of older ones on this list. And I feel like, watching the story, they made it pretty obvious that, Jeff was having some issues with, Edge. He was feuding with him. And, of course, also, there were rumors that apparently it was supposed to be Christian being the one to do it at first, but then they changed their mind and did it with Matt. But, I feel like, the stuff that I did see, I felt they did, like, a good job, somewhat creating some doubt, that they're completely uncertain who it could be. But it made it pretty obvious that, it could have been, Edge, who Jeff was feuding with at the time. But then the fact that, it was his own brother, Matt, who turned on him was probably a little heartbreaking, especially, leading up to, whenever, at the same time when Jeff's house caught on fire and Jack, his dog, died in the fire, and then that emotional element. But anyways, I think, from what I saw, I can say that was like, a little bit of a shocker having them go with Matt. When the rumor has it was supposed to be Christian being the one to turn instead. That's why it's my number 7. And kind of a weak pick, but it's my number 7 is Matt Hardy turning on Jeff Hardy in 2009. Don't feel bad. The only I know a lot of these WWE move names is because of 2K18. Totally cool. Yeah, number 7 is Matt turning on Jeff in 2009. Number 6 is one from 2010. It's a face turn. I did this one again because I want to include some face turns. I'm trying to think of the best face turns I could think that was unexpected. Now this one I feel like may have been expected back then because of they somewhat planted the seeds because this guy was this person he feuded when he came back, his former tag team partner. So you kind of maybe did expect him to somewhat feud, but this guy came back earlier than expected because in its Edge. His Edge was not due back. Apparently he kept saying he probably was not coming back to like March or April, May, June, even said maybe never. I mean, that's the character, but an Achilles injury, I'm sure it could take a little bit longer than this 4 or 6 months, however long it was to heal. So, and Edge was a heel before he got written off, and of course coming back, he again a hero's welcome, and he went over to Raw and was briefly a heel before go back over to SmackDown, being a babyface again. But yeah, I put this one on this list because again, it was another like face turn. I feel like could have came across as unexpected because of his shocking return at the Royal Rumble and going on to win the Royal Rumble as well. Which I felt played good effect in there to be that element of surprise, whatnot. That's why I put that probably, and that's the only other face turn on this list. That's why that's my number 6 is Edge returning in the 2010 Royal Rumble as a baby face when he probably could have been out for a few more months. We did not expect it. But let's see here. let's see here. Jeff will never turn, will he, Mike? Not sure if they ever would pull the trigger on a Jeff Hardy heel turn. Mike, you should do a video of top 10 worst love stories, like Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, and Alicia Fox, and Summer Rae and Ruru. Yeah, I literally, again, just watched that match earlier today when I did my 2015 review. Oh man, that feud with Rusev and Ziggler, I feel like was more so just to put over Lana after watching that again. And it could have worked when Lana's injuries screwed up, and then like what the heck was on there? Like, Ziggler seeming to hit on Summer Rae. It was just so confusing. That just fell flat on its face, pretty much, that feud. But I'm trying to think of some other love stories that were really bad. But maybe I'll do that one sometime. That's a good idea. I think I already have that on my list for love stories. Yeah, I do have that there. Yeah. Dakota loved Edge with the hair pulled back. He's pretty awesome. Who do you think will win, Alexander or Tommy Tuesday? I don't think Alexander drops the belt for a while. So yeah, keep the title on Alexander a little bit longer still. And Noam Dar looks different, doesn't he? He looks a lot older. Yeah, he does. I mean, he's just almost, he's 22, 23 now, but yeah, a little bit different, I'd say. Weird thing with like the pinkies or whatnot, or the thumbs. I thought that was a little strange though. But as we're halfway through. Let's go through my list so far. My top 10 unexpected turns. Number 10 is Nikki Cross turning face to help Ruby Riott in 2017 on an episode of NXT against the Iconics. Number 9 is Drew McIntyre returning as a heel in 2018, the team with Dolph Ziggler. Number 8 is Randy Orton turning on Kane in 2016 to join the Wyatt family. Number 7 is Matt Hardy turning on Jeff Hardy in 2009. Number 6 is Edge returning as a face in the 2010 Royal Rumble. So let's get into the top 5. And my top 5, well, again, they're a lot more recent also. The earliest is actually my number 5 in 2012, but that one I feel is pretty obvious. My number 5 is when CM Punk turned heel on The Rock at Raw 1000 in 2012. I mean, watching, Raw 1000 again, or recent events, you can kind of see, yeah, I could get why Punk got upset, because, he claimed that he felt he wasn't being respected, as he felt that, every episode of Raw should be ending with the champion and not somebody else. And they felt he wasn't getting respect. Of course, behind the scenes, I know he was told to turn heels. That way he could feud with The Rock at Royal Rumble and hold on to his title until then. Because if not, he's going to have to drop the title to Daniel Bryan in the feud he was just in. But I do kind of saw, maybe it would have been a good time to turn him face. Turn him heel, because I think he was starting to run out of some options anyway. Of course, the way they did was so unexpected, because with CM Punk being really like white hot just like a year earlier, and being as popular as he was, I could see why you wouldn't completely expect CM Punk to turn heel here. But you even saw throughout the night that Punk looked like something was bothering him character wise, and finally he snapped when The Rock came out to save the beat down on the Big Show, who interrupted the main event between John Cena and CM Punk for the championship. That's when he turned heel and tied The Rock. Of course, was playing the seeds for down the line, where it was CM Punk versus The Rock at the Royal Rumble. That's why number 5 on this list is not John Cena. We're always saying John Cena turning heel. CM Punk turning heel on The Rock at Raw 1000. Remember when Summer Rae cost Rusev the rematch at Clash of Champions by hitting him with her shoe, and JBL called her Shoeless Summer? Oh, don't remind me of that. If Lana didn't get hurt, that match would have probably been a tag match, would have been much worth watching. But again, that feud just fell apart completely. Shoeless Summer. Yeah, JBL is a bully. Punk didn't want to turn heel. Yeah, he didn't want to turn heel because he was being seen in merchandise sales, and if he turned heel, his check's probably going to get cut in half, because why would 5-year-old Johnny or Timmy, as he said, want to buy his T-shirt if he was a bad guy, because it's a kid show now, guys. Remember? Let me see here. Do you think Rollins and Ziggler will go to sudden death? I think it should, personally. I don't think Rollins should blow him out. But I don't think Ziggler blowing out Rollins would not be the ideal situation either. I say you should go close like it did last year with the Hardys and the Bar, like the close match they had. That was a really great tag match, like Great Balls of Fire, the Hardys and the Bar. in the Iron Man match. I think it should probably go something like that. Taker is still rumored to have a match at SummerSlam. Just wonder who it'll be against. You agree, Mike, that Ziggler is one of the best promo talkers on the current roster? Oh, definitely. Especially when you go back to 2016 when he feuded with built his match with Ambrose at SummerSlam, and even sorry, his feud with The Miz. Like, when he's given the right stuff to say, he shows a lot of heart when he talks. I definitely agree that Ziggler is definitely one of the better ones on the promo. Definitely. Hashtag Red Hot Rollins. Sorry, Mike, I had to. No worries, Bobby, but yes, he definitely is red hot. Taker wants a match there. Wonder who he would wrestle. Yeah, Red Hot Rollins does sound like a Cowboy's name. Yeehaw! Or something like that. Or as JBL says, ball game! And then when I was watching SummerSlam, I think it was 2012, I think it was. No, 2013 had to be. Yeah, I heard JBL say, every time he would say, "Oh, that's the kick that won the title." I heard the birth of that at SummerSlam 2013. That was a kick that he used on Ziggler to win the title. Eventually, the Ziggler part dropped, and so we heard every time Del Rio did that kick to the side of the head. That's the kick that won the title. I wanted to scream every time I heard that. But yeah, he's better on the mic as a babyface, isn't he? Because he's got at his heart. Yeah, he does. Yeah, moving on, guys. Thank you for something to live chat. Number 5 was CM Punk turning on The Rock at Raw 1000 2012. Number 4. Now, for me, this is one of the better shocking heel turns, I feel. But again, even though I wasn't a full-time wrestler until this match, or not full-time wrestler, full-time wrestling fan until this match, the main event started in 2013. I still felt, there was definitely, something, behind, the Orton teeth cash-ins and whatnot leading up to it. And of course, something was going to happen. So in some ways, this was kind of unexpected, but not completely. But I still thought it was very well done. And that was Triple H turning heel at SummerSlam 2013 to help Randy Orton win the cash-in. I mean, he did a good job with, establishing the build to the feud, to the match with Cena and Bryan at SummerSlam. They did a good job establishing the fact that, of course, it's not what the company wanted, since John Cena, was a guy, it goes with the fans think. And they they wanted Daniel Bryan in the main event, and he selected them. And of course, Vince McMahon and all the other corporate figures are saying how much they didn't want him in. But then Triple H comes along, one of the only corporate members that, again, he's not playing favorites with Bryan, but he's showing that he believes in Daniel Bryan and thinks he could be, the top guy at the company if you give him the opportunity. And then the match happened. Triple H called the fair fight. But of course, so he had other plans in mind, because he wanted the guy at the top of the company to be Randy Orton. And Orton came out to, cash in, and Triple H just out of the blue turned Bryan around with a pedigree, got Orton to come in, and Orton pinned him. And after the match, Triple H just, showering Orton in praises, mocking us with the yes chants and everything. And again, it was Birth the Authority, and, it's up for one of the best storylines of all time, especially in my generation as well. So that's why it's my number 4 on this list is Triple H turning heel and bring on the Birth of the Authority at SummerSlam 2013. Let's see here. He's better, Mike. Based on your little JBL rant, I am sensing the same Mike who yelled at Alicia Fox, "Watch you! Just shut the hell up!" Yeah, I don't remember why I was upset that day. Again, there's something happened at the Emerald. I was in a pissy mood, and then when they had one of those matches with Dar on the phone with Fox, which her big head was up on the Titantron, and you just hear the whole match like, "No, I need to talk to you." Well, no, I have a match. No, I am. I have a match. Like, does she have any sense at all that Noam Dar says, "Hey, I have a match. I will talk to you after"? Instead, she's being this annoying little bitch and would not shut up. And between my anger and that, I literally just something to scream, "What you? Just shut the hell up!" Yeah, same thing to JBL also every time he would say, "Ball game," or "That's the kick that won the title." Every single fucking time. The reason why I'm glad Del Rio's gone. Well, then again, it wouldn't matter because JBL's not around anymore on commentary. But what do you mean? Mike loves Alicia Fox. No, not that. We see. Are you talking about the match where Alexander beat Dar in like 15 seconds? I don't remember that. I don't remember the match. The only match I can remember somewhat is the fact I only remember about that feud is the match ended. I mean, the feud, not the match. The feud ended in an I Quit match. But I just remember again there was like 2 or 3 matches in like June or July, like May or June last year, where Dar would come out while FaceTime Alicia, and Alicia's being the super annoying one. That's all you heard throughout their match, which crew matches were pointless anyways. Speaking of which, that's my neighbor, but what you just shut the ow! I smacked my damn hand off that thing. What you just shut the hell up! My neighbor out there just weeding. Del Rio may be coming back. Also, like, no, don't bring Del Rio back. No him, no him, no him. And of course, your father's a drug bug. Your father's a drug. Always for you, Robbie. Always for you. But yeah. So of course that is. Let me see here. I think I was on. Oh wait, hold on. They shouldn't have had an I Quit match since it didn't really mean anything. Yeah, they would throw these big stipulations on 205 Live, but it would just be for like match on the same level as like a match like Jinder Mahal and Kurt Hawkins or something like that. That's like you take that and throw an I Quit stipulation on that. Would you care? No, didn't think so. But yeah. Moving on the list though, keep the stuff coming in the live chat, guys. Though number 4 again was Triple H turning heel at SummerSlam 2013 and the birth of the Authority. Now number 3. Now this one is still, in my opinion, one of the best heel turns in history. I feel, especially in recent time. However, I did not put this as number 1 because I expected somebody to turn heel. But I put it as number 3 because the guy, again, I've said how many times, who turned heel, I didn't expect him to be the one to do it. And that's Seth Rollins turning heel June 2nd, 2014 to implode the Shield. I just don't know why. To me, Seth Rollins, of the 3 of them, was the last one I expected to be the one to turn. Again, I couldn't tell you who I thought it was. I mean, I felt like I was mainly a little bit leaning more towards Roman because I felt like, he was the muscle of the Shield. He could have been like, you guys are weak. I don't have time for you guys. And in fact, also he won the Royal Rumble match and eliminated both Rollins and Ambrose at the same time. Because remember when Ambrose tried to eliminate Roman from the match towards the end, and then Rollins like, what are you doing? And then Roman goes on and eliminates like them two, and I think both members of the League of, not the League of Nations, the Real Americans at the same time, which is Cesaro and Swagger. So again, I really thought that, I just didn't think it would be Rollins. But, it made sense at the end, though, because, Rollins is the architect of the Shield and whatnot. And, of course, he's the one that still kind of kept them together. Even that Shield Summit segment on SmackDown, which that was a good segment, that Shield Summit segment, where they were kind of like, letting out some steam of their tensions and thinking, okay, we can go our separate ways, or we can, get back on the same page. And if they did, that's when they probably went on, their hottest run, I'd say, with, them feuding with the Authority and feuding with Evolution. I mean, just pretty much, on top of the world, nowhere else to go to. And boom, that's where it was time to strike. Again, though, I just did not expect it to be Rollins. That's why it's my number 3 on this top 10 list. Is Seth Rollins being the one to implode the Shield in 2014. Let me see here. Mike, can you do your Jericho impression with the tax? Slam me into 69 tax. 69 tax, Ambrose. You slam me into 69 tax. You owe me $20,000, Ambrose. You ripped my jacket, Ambrose. Oh, man. Again, heel Jericho, him just, yelling at everybody during the matches is just priceless. And that's why I prefer Jericho as a heel. But, oh, man, the 69 tax. Now that no DQ match was epic. Yes, from 205 Live, yes. And Rollins had an amazing heel run, though, also. He did definitely. It was definitely great. Do you think Rollins will turn heel when WWE told him to say he would never turn his back on him again? Do you think Vince just wants us to forget about that? I mean, I think maybe someday they may go back to having Rollins being a heel again. I'm not sure how they would do it, though. But I wouldn't say roll it out eventually. But I still feel he has a lot of miles left of them as a baby face. You stupid idiot. 69 tacks I had to pull out of my body one by one by one. Poor Jericho. And literally, if you remember in an episode of Talk is Jericho, he was talking about how, they pulled them all out, and there were 68 tags, and he found the 69th one poking right in his ass, pretty much. So of all places to find number 69, had to be right in the ass. Jericho. Of course, the funny thing also was, when they first pitched the idea to Vince about the thumbtacks, apparently the plan was for Ambrose to take the bump in the thumbtacks, but that's before they realized that, that Ambrose was the one going over. But Jericho was like, well, if you take a bump in the thumbtack, it's like, you're dead. Like, that's it pretty much. Like, that's what, it needs to be. So that's why Jericho's like, man, I got to take the bump in the thumbtacks now. And of course, I like how they played it along to also be like, were they going to do it, but then not. And then probably did the angle and whatnot where, going for the code breaker, but then Ambrose just slammed him into the thumbtacks. Oh, boy. That Ambrose style match, I still enjoyed it, but I do agree what hurt it was that it was too long. Didn't need to be half an hour, what it was. Could have shaved off about a good 5 or 10 minutes of that match. We had that. Yes, rest in peace, Mitch the Plant. Did you hear about that Tough Enough winner dying? Yeah, I heard about that. That sucks. Also being Tough Enough, they showed can't remember if it was I think it was, yeah, of course, 2015 SummerSlam, which I was there live. Apparently, they're showing the Tough Enough finalists there in the front row, and Mandy Rose was there. I was in the same building as Mandy Rose one night. Damn it! Just kidding. But yeah, but that's my number 3 was Seth Rollins imploding the Shield. Number 2 was a recent one that just happened WrestleMania weekend, and no, it is not Shinsuke Nakamura. It was at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and it was when Roderick Strong turned heel on Pete Dunne in the tag title match. Well, the tag title / the finals for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Now, this pairing was kind of random because, before this, Pete Dunne was still, more of a heel, but he kind of transitioned to a babyface role, which I feel was needed because, he's gained that respect, and we're putting on good matches. Of course, people are going to cheer him on. So why wouldn't they turn him babyface? I mean, yes, you can make the same cases for others who turn heel, who could be a heel as well, but they still get cheered. But I feel like it's just what happens. Like guys like Braun Strowman or a few others that you turn them heel, you get the respect. They eventually become baby faces because they get over with the crowd pretty much. Well, Roderick Strong turning heel, I just didn't expect that to happen at all. I mean, I get it. I don't know if, there was plans for Roddy to go to the main roster or anything since, he was used very well in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. But I remember kept saying also is, I noticed that in that tournament, Roddy had a little bit of an edge to him. I feel like he wasn't really, the same, good guy character he was. He was still a little bit of an edge, when he mocked, Kalisto in their match doing the whole lucha thing a couple other times. So I started getting a little curious, but I'm like, maybe it was nothing and whatnot. But then out of the blue, he turns heel on Pete Dunne and he joins the Undisputed Era, which, could have been necessary to help. I mean, again, I don't know if they would have done that if Bobby Fish didn't get injured. And left the Undisputed Era with one less, performer since Adam Cole was winning the North American Championship, and Kyle O'Reilly, the tag team partner, to share the tag titles with. Besides just having they could have done Cole with both the North American and tag titles. But technically, I think he is by the Freebird role a tag team champion. I believe, not 100% sure. But I definitely think that came out of nowhere. I did not expect Roddy to turn heel at all, especially on Pete Dunne. But, again, it's just a different direction to give Roddy something to do and give him some championship gold before coming to the main roster. So I don't know if, Roddy will stay with the Undisputed Era after Fish is cleared to wrestle again. But we'll see where it goes. But that's why it's my number 2 on this list. So I'll check the live chat again before we go to number 1. But let's see if you guys can guess what number 1 is on my unexpected turns list. Let me see there. We've got what happened to the Tough Enough winner, that Stone Cold Stunner? I have no idea. He had long hair. I am not sure. Now, have you talked to Hassan, Mike? No, I have not talked to Hassan again. He's he seems more in ROH down in WWE, so he's not really going to be around that much. We have someone named Amy saying, hello, everybody. Hi, Amy. How are you doing? Remember Roddy dressed as an honorary author of Pain and War Games? Yeah, I remember that. I mean, again, I thought that was a little strange also, because at the time, I couldn't tell, who were the heels and who were the faces within the tag team division. It was fine, but, of all people for Roddy to team up with Authors of Pain, seemed a little bit strange, but, it was a good way to get Roddy on the card, I thought. Especially also, you didn't know, I mean, that time I feel like, could have, been a little bit more expected. If Roddy would have turned then, I feel like it wouldn't have been as much of a surprise. Since there was such a big gap in between like there was, it was kind of a shocker, I feel, for the most part. Dakota thinks my number one is Sami Zayn. WWE is better now that he quit. Who are you referring to? Oh yeah. Ever since Hassan quit. Yeah. But all right. So Dakota thinks my number one is Sami Zayn. I could have put Sami Zayn on this list, but I did it because even though I didn't want to believe Sami Zayn turned heel, I did have like a little bit of suspicion based off of what he was doing. Trying to tell Shane to back off and everything in the weeks leading up to it. I thought it was possible. So because of that, I didn't put that on the list. I was close to putting Big Cass on the list, but I was kind of seeing it coming based off of Corey Graves saying he'd like to shake the hand of the person who attacked Enzo, and they had that segment where Cass and Graves shook hands when he was talking to him or whatnot. So I had to put that. But here's my number one. This turn I feel really came out of left field and surprised me. I did not. I mean, you could have expected it in some ways, but I didn't, because I saw a lot other directions for this guy. But then they turned him heel, and I'm like, whoa, like really? Like I was not expecting it. This is it, guys. Well, first, actually, before we get to number one, let's go through numbers 10 to 2 again. Number 10 was Nikki Cross's face turn in NXT in 2017, helping Ruby Riott, which had just 1T. Number 9 was Drew McIntyre's return as a heel in 2018. Number 8 is Randy Orton turning heel on Kane in 2016 during the Wyatt family. Number 7 is Matt Hardy turning heel on Jeff in 2009. Number 6 is Edge returning as a face in the 2010 Royal Rumble. Number 5 is CM Punk turning heel on The Rock at Raw 1000. Number 4 is Triple H turning heel at SummerSlam 2013. Number 3 is Seth Rollins imploding the Shield in 2014. And number 2 is Roderick Strong turning heel on Pete Dunne in 2018. Let's see here. Robbie says, big ass. I miss big ass. We all know, Mike, that your favorite writer is Road Dogg. Hell no. And yep, I'm still on the road to 1,000 subs as I'm 917. Okay. So this turn happened. I think the date was May 30th, 2016. The Memorial Day episode of Monday Night Raw. It had that amazing moment with John Cena and AJ Styles in the ring. And, Styles saying, I've been waiting for this moment my entire life. And each of us signs, welcome back. Because Cena had been gone for a while. Because if you remember, after he dropped the U.S. title to Del Rio in a very weak match at Hell in a Cell 2015, he went on leave for film a movie. He came back for a week. Then he hurt his rotator cuff. So he had surgery. He was out for about half the year. He came back. And that's when Styles, of course, right, he came back. Styles came in as well. Now, here's the thing about AJ Styles. I did not, when they brought in, the club, it was that way of like Styles was not, in that feud with Roman, it was like Styles was not telling them to do the dirty work that they were doing. So I thought, okay, what if after this feud with Roman ends, the person who was, revealed to be the one would be the one to turn heel, and maybe the next one to feud with Styles, which I thought, even though I did not want to see him debut as a heel, because I want to see him keep his babyface momentum come to the main roster. I thought it could have been Finn Balor. I thought it could have been a way to set up an AJ Styles and Finn Balor match for Money in the Bank. And then the week before this segment happened, AJ Styles mentioned something about how he didn't know where he was going to go from here. Now that he was no longer in the title scene, he dropped his brothers, Gallows and Anderson, because he said that, they just, he didn't want them to be in his way all the time, whatnot. And he lost his qualifying match to Kevin Owens. So it looked like that Styles and the club were going separate ways, and somebody else was going to be coming in to be revealed to be the one who has been behind the attacks of the club. And Styles comes out to welcome Cena back, and then the club come out, and then they pretty much make fun of Cena and Styles, and it looked like that they were setting up for a tag team match, Cena and Styles teaming up against the club. And I will never forget how low my jaw dropped when Styles punched Cena right in the face. I was like, I was shocked. Like I expected somebody else to be behind the Attacks Club. I mean, it's obviously it's the AJ Styles. Felt like, what? Let's just go with this. And he's looking for an opportunity to make a name for himself, which it worked since he did eventually, do, as they say, save you guys, hashtag beat up John Cena. He beat up John Cena, of course. Well, he beat him at Money in the Bank with a little bit of help from the club. They lost in a 6-man tag match against Cena and Enzo and Cass. But then Styles beat Cena in that classic of a match that stole the show at SummerSlam 2016, which pretty much, again, the heel turn from Styles. Styles, again, was another guy who was a heel, but he was being cheered. But the heel turn was more so meant to, light the fire in him a little bit more, help him more with his promos, because he's improved his promos a lot more when he turned back to being a babyface. Because right now, I think it'd be too tough to turn Styles heel again, I feel, in my opinion. But I just remember, the last thing I thought for Styles moving forward at that time was for him to turn heel. I did not expect that at all. And I just will not forget, my reaction, the way I reacted. I was speechless when I saw Styles punch Cena in the face, just beat the living shit out of him. And I'm just like, yow. So that is why I made that my number one on my list. I think of all the heel turns or any turns I've come across, I feel like this one was the one that shocked me the most. I mean, again, you could say, the Shield imploding was a shocker as well. But again, I was expecting the Shield to break up at some point, but I put it on this list again because I didn't expect to be Rollins to be the one to implode the Shield. But my number one is AJ Styles turning heel and save you guys. And he went on to beat up John Cena. I'll be saying that again when I record my SummerSlam 2016 review a little later on. So just to go over a list again, it was kind of a weak list. I mean, this is a tough one, but I was up for the challenge. Number 10, Nikki Cross's face turn, helping Ruby Riott in NXT in 2017. Number 9 is Drew McIntyre returning as a heel in 2018. Randy Orton turning heel on Kane in 2016. Number 7 is Matt Hardy turning on Jeff in 2009. Number 6 is Edge returning as a face in 2010's Royal Rumble. Number 5 was CM Punk's heel turn on The Rock at Raw 1000 in 2012. Number 14 was Triple H turning heel at SummerSlam 2013 to help Orton win the title with his cash-in. Number 3 was Seth Rollins imploding the Shield in 2014. Number 2 is Roderick Strong turning on Pete Dunne in 2018 to take over New Orleans, join the Undisputed Era. And number 1 was AJ Styles turning on John Cena and going on to beat up John Cena. Live chat. Let's see here. Yes, Road Dogg is terrible. Yep, AJ Styles. Hashtag beat up John Cena. Dakota said, oh, Mike, the Ascension finally won a match. They beat Slater and Rhino. They may start winning now. Not going to bet on that. Maybe. Who knows? What day is today, Mike? It's a new day. Yes, it is. And also it's Rusev Day. Also, what are you gonna do today, Mike? Wrap presents with my hot Asian wife and beat up John Cena? Nice. I'm not sure. Hey, Mike, I'm gonna sell some fireworks to my Puerto Rican girlfriend, Selena Vega, and then I'm going to beat up John Cena. Love that combo there, Robbie. Because hey, Mike, I'm gonna go to the beach with my hot Caucasian wife, and I'm going to come get you, and we're gonna beat up John Cena. Oh man, we're gonna roll out with the hashtag beat up John Cena. Can't expect that again when I record my SummerSlam 2016 review a little bit later on. But yeah, I always love doing that. Well, that's right. We're going to what's that again? Rhyme me again. Beat up John Cena. Oh man, that was definitely a fun ending. I'll leave the live chat open again just for about 5 more minutes. But guys, that is my list of my top 10 unexpected turns in WWE. Again, we've done, face and heel turns, focused on most of them the past couple weeks for these special streams. But again, I decided since we're doing that, tried this unexpected turn, which I feel like, was all right, but I feel like, I didn't give, the greatest list you could possibly ask for. I mean, I was watching a video with some heel turns also, like some of the best heel turns of all time. And I saw the number one was when Hulk Hogan turned heel in WCW and joined the NWO, which, I don't have the evidence to really back that one up, though, but I can definitely see that probably being a shocker with Hogan probably being a babyface most of his career. But yeah, I'll give it a lot, 10 or a minute or so. So if you guys have any face or heel turns that you thought were unexpected, in your opinion, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Always sure to click by, like, and subscribe to our content on this channel, and follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Let's see the live chat for a minute there. Nothing's really new, so I guess I'll just check out here now. So Robbie, we got Dakota. Oh, what would Cena do if all three of us showed up and he asked what we were going to do, and we look at each other and say, I don't know, I guess we're going to beat up John Cena? I know he'd be kind of scared about that. Well, actually, quick story. I don't remember what style said, but the day I meant to go meet AJ Styles, which was in January of 2017, which was like the weekend before the Royal Rumble. I remember some kid walked up to him. He was wearing a Cena shirt. He's like, now I know I'm wearing a John Cena shirt, but don't beat me up or something like that. He says, like, I won't do it, bro, or whatnot. And I think someone else walked with him and said, hey, you're going to beat up John Cena on Sunday. He goes, you know it, bro, pretty much. Well, not taking the Zack Ryder, but he called me Bud when I talked to him and whatnot. But oh man, yes. But let's see here. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Again, this is kind of a quick stream, not one of my best, but still good. Thank you guys again for joining me live. Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. Again, click that like and subscribe more content on this channel at 917 subs. Hopefully, we'll get to 1,000 by the end of the year and get that big celebration. As I always appreciate the support of my channel. I know I'm probably a little bit of an overrated channel since I do like 50 million different things on this channel, but I always appreciate the support as well. And we'll have a nice Q&A celebration whenever I reach 1,000 subscribers. So guys, thanks again for tuning in for a special live stream. I'll be back up here next week for another special live stream, which will most likely be something involving Extreme Rules, I'd say, next week's special stream. But with that, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys all later. Till then, guys, have a great night. Peace out, everybody.